What do you want changed in Wynncraft? Loot running? The endgame? I had an exclusive interview with the owner of Wynncraft, and here are some of the things he wants to see in Wynncraft's future. No promises though, because like Salted said,
we might never do it.
But first off, what does Salted want to change?
I want to change loot run, I want to change some housing, I want to change hunted. I'd like to bring back swarms one day maybe, but I'd like to get rid of soul points and do something else with them. Profession, I'd like also to change a bit how they work. Maybe we'll want to redo raids to make them even cooler, who knows.
But how do you handle so many changes?
We gotta balance what we do with stuff that will make people excited, get them back to the game, and stuff that makes the game more like healthy and makes them more fun.
To start, will loot running get changed?
We'll do it eventually, and when we do it, it's gonna be perfect.
Could we perhaps see client-sided chests?
It is part of a solution, but that's not everything.
What are then some of the problems?
The running has some issues because it's not designed to be done the way people are doing it. It's not made to be repetitive, so that's one of the things that we would need to fix.
So what does Salted want loot running to be?
I wish people would just play the game. They get on a server, they don't care which server it is, they just loot run. And that's its own separate little thing. But yeah, I'd like to do that as well.
Could we see an equally good way of obtaining mythics?
For mythic, I don't think I would add another system that's better for mythics than loot running, because that's kind of the point of loot running. I'd rather just make loot running fun, and fun in a repeatable way, and then had another system for other things.
With a change to loot running, will the average player have it easier to find mythics?
Maybe with a rework to how loot run works, it's gonna be a little easier for your everyday person to find a mythics.
Could we see an overall change to the endgame?
I'd like to make it better, that's for sure, and that would be tied down to with loot running. We have quests, we have dungeon and raids, which are all good, but they're not too repeatable. Raids are probably the most repeatable aspects. Yeah, I'd like to do a little more of that stuff that's repeatable in the endgame.
Would a higher level cap introduce new endgame content?
I don't think increasing the level cap really changes that. If we were to increase the level cap, I guess like we'd have new quests, we'd have like new things to do, but it would still be kind of the same system.
Will hunted mode get a change?
Yeah, I have some good ideas for a hunted mode, and maybe one day we'll improve the PvP aspect of it.
Moving on to the ability tree, can we see future abilities?
The tree was very well designed so that it can be expanded upon. And so if we were to add more levels, we'd like to add more ability points, which means we probably would want to add more abilities. That's what I'll say.
Could we perhaps see items with ability point requirements?
It's not really planned, and I like to keep the two systems a little bit separated, because the item system is super complex, while the ability tree is a little more in between. But maybe it could be nice to add that. I'm not ruling it out.
Will there be changes to Assassin?
We will definitely do big changes to Assassin. Well, depends how you see big changes. We're not going to completely redo the archetypes, but we do plan to add more abilities and change how certain abilities work so that Assassin is a little bit better.
Will there be more horizontal abilities?
I do want them to stay simple. If we add more abilities, it's probably going to be vertical.
Will current mythics become obsolete with a higher level cap?
I don't think they would become fully obsolete, but if we add more items that are a little stronger than mythics, your mythics are still gonna be alright, but people might value it differently, maybe.
Have you thought about letting players improve their current weapons?
But the idea was to let some weapons being able to get some ingredients on it. Maybe a normal item that's level 100 would be able to get 4 ingredients on it, while a legendary would only be able to get 1 ingredient from it. That was an idea, but nothing came out of it. I'm not sure we would do something like that with Fruma, but I'm not that against it. I need to think a bit more, I guess.
Can we ever see expanded storage options?
It might be a leak again for a future thing, but no promises. What I think we should do is add storage for each individual classes. So the current bank would become the global storage, whatever, and each classes would have their own storage. Just a few pages, nothing crazy, but I think just that would help a lot.
Could we ever see a profession materials pouch?
I'm not against it. We just haven't done it because we're doing other things, I guess.
And speaking of professions, could we ever see more ingredient merchants?
Maybe. I kind of like to get people on the trade market instead, because when they spend money on there, it gives money to other players and it kind of keeps a nice loop of the economy. I'm not sure we're gonna add that everywhere. We kind of do it every so often, but we try to be careful with it.
Will we see more content team posts about Fruma?
Yeah, so it's gonna be tough a little bit to do that with Fruma. So that's why we kind of made this announcement. We said, all right, we're working on Fruma. We don't want to show up too much about Fruma, but it's gonna be ugly until quite late. That's the real challenge, really, on showing things before they're ready.
Could we see more world bosses in Fruma?
Yeah, we could. Right now, we're kind of focused on Fruma itself, and maybe there's gonna be world bosses in Fruma, but it's not something that we're really trying to prioritize or something.
Will there be a bread lore questline in Fruma?
Yeah, we're working on it right now in Fruma. It's basically half of the Fruma lore. It's all about bread. I hope you guys know your shit, because there's multiple quiz, multiple puzzle in between. Better get ready. We didn't add this NPC just for the memes. Come on, we're better than that.
Could we see Tassim returning in Fruma?
Maybe. As if I'm gonna answer that.
Could we see more time-gated content with the Fruma update?
Yeah, you could definitely see more of it, though I don't think it's a specific thing we're trying to target right now.
Will we see more quest reworks?
There's a lot of level 10 to 20 quests that I think we should redo.
Could we see an early level quest line?
We wanted to do a main quest storyline from level 1 ever since like Gavel or something, and it's true this is what's lacking.
Could we ever see flying mounts in Wynncraft?
I'm not sure the reason, but it's apparently quite hard in Minecraft, but I would definitely like to do them. I've wanted for a while to have a flying mount that you could ride instead of a horse. That'd be really cool, but a little bit of work.
Could we ever see a marriage system?
I wouldn't be against it in Wynncraft, I guess. I just don't see it as such a huge deal. We haven't done it yet, but maybe one day we will. It sounds like kind of easy to implement.
Would you change champion rank?
The one thing I still kind of want to change is the priority access. We added a queue system in 2.0. That's what I kind of want to change champion to. So instead of being a separate champion slot, it's instead more of a semi-priority queue where champions get in more often, but not always. So it's a little more fair.
Could we get a subscription-based rank?
Yeah, totally. It could totally happen, as much as people seems to dislike them.
What about subscription-based bombs?
Maybe. I do have some ideas, but I need to put a little more work into it. It would probably be a little like its own separate thing. It can't just be a subscription for bombs and nothing else, because I don't think it would be that popular. But it could be something else and then bombs, maybe.
Is there another update you'd like to see?
Man, I feel like I'm spoiling stuff, but I kind of wanted to improve the ocean itself.
Will there be updates after Dern and Fruma?
Maybe even just an extension to existing things. Who knows? Like more regions in Wynn or Gavel or Fruma or Dern, whenever that's out. I'm not too worried about that, honestly. I love Wynncraft. I got high hopes with the future of it.
These were just some of the topics Sultan and I talked about. If you want to see the whole interview, watch the video linked down below. That is all. Like and subscribe if you want to. See you all in the next video. Goodbye.